Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you guys maybe the most broken attack that has ever existed in the game, other than maybe some event troops. But even then, this is like still on the level of like lava loons and broom witches, and you guys will see just how much overkill is after every single raid. I did go 312 today because I time failed once, maybe 311. I had like 98%. What is that? 312 probably. But I still had like 10 dragons alive. I just time failed. So time is really the only issue that you have with this army. I'm just going to go ahead and push play. What you've got is the Royal Champion with the Rocket Spear and the Electro Boots. You're going to put the Royal Champion somewhere where the defenses don't outrange her, right? Where a Ground Expo is going to be, or a Monolith, or even the Town Hall, right? So I put her here, and I'm hoping that she'll go up towards the Town Hall. That's kind of where I wanted her to go. After you are done with this really, really lengthy Royal Champion charge, with all 11 invisibility spells, by the way, if you can keep her alive that long, you are going to start your spam dragon attack. This attack is honestly so easy, and I don't think I had an attack today that happened where I had like less than 10 dragons alive at the end of the raid. It really, I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you, I think this attack is better than Root Rider, Overgrowth, Valkyrie before any of the nerfs. Like that's how easy and how strong this attack was. And honestly, it's probably even harder to counter building bases for this strategy because you could just put the Royal Champion anywhere, right? I don't really know how you slow this down. I went through bases where it had 2 poison spells or 2 poison towers, where the defenses were spread out along the outside of the base so that you'd think her pathing would be kind of hard. And honestly, she still just crushes it through every single base. It was so easy. So if you can just get down the Spirit Walk part of this attack, and then just spam literally all your dragons down. I'm going to just ×2 it through the rest of this. And your Overgrowth is literally only meant to Overgrowth like maybe a sweeper. If you couldn't get that with your Royal Champion or your Giant Arrow, which I didn't have the Giant Arrow on this attack, by the way, which you should have. So like sweepers, or like if they're single Infernos or a Monolith that you're going to be ringing around for a little while. But like I'm telling you, every single attack today was just overwhelmingly overkill and just super easy. I really honestly think that there's going to have to be a nerf to some aspect of this attack sooner, or else everybody's going to be doing this, and it's going to be even more broken and more used than when Root Rider Overgrowth was dominating for like 6 months last year. Just look at it. Literally every attack was just like this one. Just mass amounts of dragons left at the end. So I'll go over the Legend Link hits with you guys, but again, unfortunately, it'll all be replays because I didn't check the audio beforehand. So we'll go ahead and get into those. All right, this is the very, very first attack that I did today, and you can see it is a double poison base, which you think might counter this more than the other stuff because it might slow the Royal Champion down enough to where she doesn't get as much value. I'm just going to ×2 it through all these attacks probably. There's really nothing super fancy about this attack that I need to really slow down in depth other than this Royal Champion, right? That's literally the only part of this that takes any brain at all, is where to put your Royal Champion and where to place your invis spells and when. That's literally the only thing that's difficult about this attack. And even then, I wouldn't even say that's very difficult. So I just go ahead. You can drop your invis spells on a building that's damaged to force her further into the base, and then the Electro Boot aura will still get rid of the building. And you can see there's going to be probably 5 or 6 attacks today where I just get the Town Hall and most of the CC from the Phoenix, because the aura stays around the champion even when she's in Phoenix mode, if that makes sense. So she will continue to get all of these things. Look, you can see she got the witches and everything. The only thing that did survive was a golem, or an ice golem at like half health. That's really it. So then this attack, I think I actually had the magic mirror on this one too. Yeah, I forgot to put my giant arrow on until the next attack. So the second attack into Legend League, because this is the first one. You can just see, I mean, it really is just unreal how strong this attack is. I probably could have swagged my Warden ability several times today, but I just used it to just be safe rather than sorry. You can see, even though the dragons didn't really stay clumped together very well, there's still a whole bunch of them left. There's still the Minion Prince at full health. I still have my Warden alive. Still have my Queen alive at full health. It's just unreal how strong this attack is. I definitely recommend you try it. It's kind of fun, to be honest. And I'm probably going to get really sick of this attack after 2 days once everybody else starts to use it. But for now, I kind of had fun just demolishing every base today. So let's go ahead and get into the next hit. All right, here's hit number 2. And I actually will slow it down for a couple of these. Okay, so this attack, I do have the giant arrow on. So let's see. When you're looking at a base like this, you almost just want to find a place where the royal champion is not going to be outranged by stuff, right? So if like you put her down here, which I think this is actually where I put her. It's been like several hours since I did this raid, but I think that's probably where I put her because there's not anything that outranges her here, right? The closest thing that's going to hit her is going to be this X-bow, but she'll get all of her royal champion shots off before then, and then you'll have invisibility spells to keep her healthy. By the way, there is one raid today where I do tank a ground X-bow for a little bit, and actually it really doesn't do that much damage because it does like, what do they do? I don't even know how much damage per second they do, like 200 something, and then she heals for 60 health a second, so really it negates a lot of the damage anyway. So again, I'll kind of zoom in and just show you guys the spirit walk. That way you guys can kind of see it in slow-mo and kind of action. That way you can kind of see how it's done, right? I'm going to invis the scatter shot here on the next one. Okay, well, I guess it died before I did anyway. You can invis these buildings to kind of launch her further into the base, and the aura will finish off a lot of these buildings. I do that sometimes today, but sometimes I'm just like, I just would rather be safe than sorry. And the only really difficult part of this attack is predicting what direction your royal champion is going to head after some of the defenses fall. But really, even then, it's really not anything super hard, right? This is like the only aspect of the attack that requires any of your brain, and it's really not even a whole lot. Yep, I invis the Expo there because it's going to go down anyway, so you can see, and I'll probably do that with, okay, the Tesla, I invis the Tesla, that way it'll go down anyway. So that is one little trick that you can do, is to get the buildings that are low health down. Actually, I don't get that Tesla. I lied. All right, and then the next aspect of the attack, by the way, if you're doing this attack, I highly recommend you put 1 or 2 dragons down behind where your royal champion started the attack. And what you want to do definitely is where you've carved out a section of the base with your royal champion, right, put 1 or 2 dragons down here, put a few dragons on the left, put your queen on the other side so that you can create a good funnel for the dragons and the stone slammer. I used the stone slammer every single raid today. I didn't use a blimp or anything else once. It feels really good. And I did use my warden ability a little bit earlier on this base because we were stuck in the tornado, and I didn't want the monolith to pick off like 2 or 3 dragons while we were stuck there. But you can see, right, even with the kind of the slow start through the town hall that this dragon army had, we're going to times 2 it through the rest of this. There is still just so much alive at the end of this attack, and this is how it was for every single raid today. I truly think there's got to be some nerf to some aspect of this attack. There just has to be. Look how many dragons there are. That's unreal. How do you stop this? I truly don't know. Oh well, let's get into the next attack. All right, here we are. We're on a legendary base. We got that cool little intro, and this is going to be a base that's a little bit tougher, right? You've got the single infernos. You've got the sweepers that are pointing away from the town hall, but you've got the town hall that's going to slow you down enough to where you almost don't want to come from this angle with your dragons, if that makes sense. But you want to find an area where you can put your royal champion where things aren't going to outrange her. And basically, the best area where I feel like you get the most value is like right here. It's symmetrical, right? So you could be on the other side of the base. You're going to pick off these buildings here, and then the royal champion is going to head right over into the town hall area, and that's exactly what happens. Now, I think on this one, if I remember right, I do mess up my invis spells a couple of times, and so I take a lot more damage from her than I should. And I invis the king here just because I'm like, I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time and shots onto the king. That just doesn't make any sense. And then I just use another invis. So you can do that. You also, if you wanted to, if your royal champion, if you think she's going to head this way, you could waste another invis spell and just use one right here and guarantee that she goes into the middle, right? If you waste one more invis, I'm putting that in air quotes because you're going to force her to get more value in the direction that she's going to head rather than wasting times. Because like the ground expo and the ricochet cannon, those aren't scary for dragons, right? Obviously, they don't even hit them. All right, so we go this way. We just keep going. Honestly, with your spirit walk and your giant arrow, if you can get rid of the sweepers and the town hall and some of the air defenses, like it's a guaranteed triple basically every single time. It really, I can't imagine it being very. Like, I can't imagine failing at all after a start like that. We do get the queen here, maybe? Oh, with the phoenix, I think we for sure would, right? Maybe not with the headhunters slowing our attacks and everything down. Again, I didn't realize this until later on in the day. You should definitely be putting like 1 or 2 dragons just kind of behind your royal champion. You only really need to have like 10 dragons with your main clump of army. So you really don't need to do anything super fancy. Like you could sprinkle 2 or 3 dragons on each side. That way you have a good, nice clump just like I've got right here and force them to go up through the middle. And I freeze the sweeper. You can overgrowth the sweeper too, right? Or you can save your overgrowth for the fire spitter and the single inferno. I think that's what I do here. I can't remember. Again, it's been a few hours since I did these raids. Oh, I just used the warden ability. Okay, so then I don't even have to worry about overgrowthing that. We do get that one air sweeper down. I overgrowth over there. Okay, so or you can overgrowth to create a funnel to where it keeps all your dragons together, right? And that way, I know it does. It looks like I didn't put it close enough this way. I was hoping that I could force all my dragons together. But again, it's massive overkill, literally every single raid. It's honestly a little wild to see this happen every single time. I will say though, it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend everybody try it because it's a little intoxicating and kind of fun to just be able to just demolish every base without any effort at all. It's kind of like when the lava loon puppet or the lava loons were introduced into the game, right? You just have fun turning your brain off and smashing every army. All right, let's go ahead. We'll get into the next attack. All right, here we go. Another legendary base. So on this one, obviously, what you can do on a base like this is put your royal champion somewhere like over here. She's going to snipe these, well, I guess, and this building, these 4 buildings, and then you can kind of force her to the town hall, right? Because there's not a whole lot of other defenses in that area. Maybe can I draw a cool mustache? Perfect. I'm just going to stay still right here the whole rest of this raid. All right, let's, this is natural, by the way. All right, where do I put my... Okay, so that is where I put my royal champion. So again, this is the raid where I figured out, like, you can take a ground expo if you really want to for a little bit. Look how much damage she took. Like, almost none. Almost no damage, right? And she's just going to heal that up. And then I just use... I think I use an invis spell here to direct her into the direction that I want her to go. Maybe I don't. Do I? I feel like I did that one of the raids today. I felt like this was it. Maybe I didn't? Okay, we kind of go that direction anyway. All right, I'm going to invis the, I'm going to turn this mustache off so I don't have to keep my head perfectly still. Okay, we do force her into the middle that way. Okay, so we do end up going to the middle either way. And I think maybe I invis the mortar here. I can't remember exactly. Okay, I do. I do force her mid, and that was what I was talking about, right? And then you'll even see, I'm pretty sure the Royal Champion actually takes this Super Dragon out. So she actually deals with the entire CC on this raid. There was one raid today where she took out a Super Dragon by herself. So, you can see the aura does 250 damage per second. You can see the spirit or the super dragon's taking a lot of damage, and I'm invising buildings so that she goes further in, right? Like I know the Inferno's going to die from her aura, so I don't really need to worry about that too much. Is it the super dragon? Yeah, she does get the super dragon. Look at that. So she deals with the CC, deals with the whole clan castle. Look at the funnel she set, and if I was smart, I probably wouldn't have fought the sweepers. Okay, I sniped a sweeper. Okay, so the next sweeper I'm not too worried about, right? Because this one's not really pointing in the direction that my dragons are going to be heading anyway. So I used my giant arrow to snipe that. And we'll just ×2 it through the rest of this attack. And there's a fantastic funnel. Look at this path that my dragons are going to take and just stay all clumped up and together the entire raid. And then I overgrowth right here to force the dragons to the town hall. That's why I overgrowth that part right there, because I wanted them all to stay together. And I probably could have done a little bit differently there, but I still had my warden ability, so it didn't really matter that much, right? And you can just see how many dragons are still alive. It's a little ridiculous how easy this attack is for how strong it is. It's more than Root Rider Overgrowth. It has to be. I don't remember ever seeing this much stuff over every single raid with Root Rider Overgrowth. And to be honest with you, this might be, well, I don't know if I want to say this is easier than Root Rider. Root Rider Overgrowth was pretty easy, but this is pretty easy too. All right, let's get into the next attack. All right, this is another base where I think it's a little bit tricky because you've got around the outside of the base, you can kind of see all of these defenses are kind of spread apart a little bit. And so it doesn't really create a really easy direction for you to know where your royal champion's going to go, right? If I put my royal champion on a building, I don't really know whether she's going to go up or down or left or right or anything like that. So, and it's got 2 poison towers. So this, I figure, obviously this attack's kind of new, right? But I figure this is probably like the most anti this army base as you can get. This is about as difficult as a base that I could come up with if I were going to try and counter this attack specifically. So let's go ahead and just watch this, right? I try and force my royal champion. If I remember it, I actually screwed up a whole bunch of invisibility spells on this raid too. Yeah, because look at this. I've gone all over the place with this royal champion. And then I try to invis the Tesla. I was thinking she'd go to that scatter shot, and then I go up, and yeah, it's just kind of a giant mess. And the poison tower gets me, right? So now I'm slowed down a whole bunch. We'll ×2 through the rest of this. Jeez, just kind of crazy. Really, if you can get the sweepers, though. Sweepers, monolith, town hall, all really good targets, right? And then you can also rely on the fact that you're going to be getting a whole bunch of damage after you're done with invisibility spells, because your royal champion is going to be alive for, what is it, 9 seconds after the after she dies because the Phoenix is going to bring her back. And she does have the Electro Boots on that entire time. Okay, so again, I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit easier. Now that we've chunked out this area with our Royal Champion, I'm going to finish the funnel with my Queen and a few dragons and sometimes the Stone Slammer on this side so they can clear this area. And then there's just an easy path for my dragons to go where they stay all clumped up and they don't spread out all over the base, right? That's kind of the goal with the Queen. You can snipe some defenses and stuff, sure, but I think the funnel's more important than being able to snipe a sweeper or an air defense. Minion Principality is really good. Now, I tried different things today. I tried using the Minion Principality first and then the Warden ability later on. I tried the other way around, and honestly, it was just so overkill every time. I don't really know that I can tell you which one's better. They both are just good. There's not a wrong way to do this army right now. That's how good this is. Again, get a whole bunch of dragons left over. Literally every raid. It's a little unreal. And the next raid I'm going to show you is actually a time fill. So the only fill I had today, and it was a time fill, and it's because I overgrowthed in a really dumb area, and it made my dragons go clear around the base and have to go back to that area at the very end. So I will show you that raid though. All right, this was attack number 7. This was the only attack that I had where I failed today, and honestly, I still had a whole bunch of dragons left over at the very end. It just, time. I would say, when you have like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 invisibility spells left for your Royal Champion, I would start putting down a couple of dragons behind her and start setting up the rest of your funnel, whether that's putting your Queen down first or whatever it is that you want to do, but start that second part of the attack as fast as possible without it risking your Spirit Walk going all haywire, right? So I think, do I get the Town Hall here? I don't think I do. No, she goes clear up and around and everything. So I was hoping I'd get the Town Hall and maybe the Monolith here, but I didn't. Let's go ahead and I think I start the next part of the attack here soon. Yeah, again, what I should have been doing was 1, yes, putting a dragon up here, but 2, a couple of dragons here, and then starting my Queen way earlier, like probably 15 or 20 seconds ago is probably when I should have done that. Because now I still have a pretty good funnel set and everything, right? But I wasted like 15 or 20 seconds that I didn't need to, and it was so close to 3-starring too. It was like barely a time fill. 5 extra seconds and I think I would have had it. Okay, so here's where I really think I shouldn't have overgrowthed. I shouldn't have overgrowth here, and I should have overgrowth maybe where I don't know, something else. But it really made me go clear to the end of the base first and then have to backtrack for this area. And I had an extra invisibility spell, so like this definitely wasn't at risk, even close of time failing, or a fail failing, I mean. Like I still had a bunch of dragons left over, right? But as we come back to this area here, you guys are going to see we get really, really close to... and I put an invis down because I'm like, I hope the dragons get further in and don't waste time on that ricochet cannon so that they get all the movement done at the beginning. So I get the ricochet cannon down. I almost get the monolith down, but yeah, I think like 5 more seconds. How much health did that have? Okay, that's a full clan castle, so something like that, right? But that was the only fail I had today. Just don't overgrowth really dumb like I did there. I would, if you don't need to use the overgrowth, just don't use it. I don't think I needed to use it here. They were going to attack that monolith either way. They were already on their way there, so the dragons would have gotten the monolith and it would have gone down. But anyway, we've got one more attack in Legend League. We'll show you that, and then I will we'll call it good. Right, this was the last attack. Now, on this base, it might be really, really tempting to start somewhere near the Town Hall with your Royal Champion, but there's a lot. All 4 heroes are right up here, and if for some reason she gets aggroed onto one of the heroes, you're going to be wasting a whole bunch of time on something that the dragons can deal with very, very easily. The dragons deal with the heroes super easy, right? It really is not a problem for them. Just put her somewhere where she's going to get a lot of value, but also creates a really good funnel for your dragons. And so I almost want her to take on like this whole part of the base, right? From like there down, maybe like from the clan castle down, honestly. I can't even remember how much damage she gets here. Let's go ahead and we'll ×2 this, and then I'll kind of show you how I create the funnel on this base. But yeah, you can see the Spirit Walk is pretty easy. It really is not that hard. This, I will say, without the Spirit Fox, with the Phoenix, it does make the Spirit Walk a little bit easier, right? Because you don't have to like time your invis spells. You just, every 4 seconds, you just put another one down. And we do clear a whole bunch of defense. I was good about putting a dragon down there this time. I probably should have put 1 or 2 more over on this side here. Okay, I do now, but I should have done that way earlier, right? Like maybe 10 or 15 seconds before that. So now I've got this part of the base. I just want my dragons to go in a straight line across the middle. So I put my queen here and I giant arrow to just get rid of the air defense that's here and just to get her healers and everything. And I think I put a couple of dragons and maybe the Stone Slammer off to the left too. That way I can just have a nice path right through the middle of the base and go through the back end here. But let's go ahead and watch that. Yeah, okay. I put the Stone Slammer with them because I realized the queen's really not in any threat. Okay, I put the dragons. I do put some dragons with her. I think it probably is good to get your Stone Slimer in the Warden ability if you can. If it lives longer, I think that's just better. So it might be better, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, to use your Warden ability earlier and then save your Minion Prince ability for later on. And you can just see how easy they deal with the heroes. The heroes are really not a big issue. Don't let your Royal Champion deal with the heroes. Let the dragons and the Minion Prince deal with the heroes. Look, every attack just... How many dragons is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 9? It's hard to tell. But this attack, honestly, is maybe a little too good. It feels like I mean, I don't know how long they'll let this go before they nerf it, but man, like I'm telling you, in all my friendly challenges, they look just like this. And, but it's a lot of fun, though. It is fun for now. I think in a week, everybody's going to be sick of it. But try it out. A lot of fun. I'll leave the link to 16 dragons, 1 Stone Slammer, and 11 invisibility spells in the description. Definitely check it out. Check out Itsu's Army again, or his video. But that's going to do it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow.